but I just kept getting faster my entire career for 15 years because of that way of training. I did a HIIT workout and I did like 150,000 pull-ups and 2 million sit-ups, and I did it all in like 3 seconds.
You kind of alluded to the fact that, hey, it takes your body time to really build that aerobic engine. That's probably one of the learnings that you got by working with Phil Maffetone as well. How easy, how hard was it for you to adopt into that mindset of, hey, go slow to go fast, basically? So basically, the question is dual. How easy, hard was it for you? And then also, how do you today as a coach convince your athletes that to do all that non-sexy stuff over all the boasting, very hard HIIT workouts, which everybody posts on Instagram these days?
Yeah, nobody posts that they went a slow pace on their run to keep their heart rate aerobic. Hey, I slowed down 3 minutes a mile so that I could stay aerobic. That's so not exciting. You know, it's so very different than I did a HIIT workout and I did like 150,000 pull-ups and 2 million sit-ups, and I did it all in like 3 seconds, you know? And so it's like, was it easy or hard for me to slow down? Well, you know, I was a swimmer as a kid growing up, and back in the days in the 70s and 80s when I swam, coaches would throw you in a swimming pool and they give you the hardest workout they could, and you'd do it and you'd come back the next day and the same thing would happen. And so when I first started doing triathlon training, there were no coaches for triathlon when I started in '82. The sport was only about 4 years old. And so I just thought, okay, you know, you go hard in the pool, you got to go hard running, you got to go hard cycling. And so I went hard all the time. And, you know, I got kind of fit and had some decent race results. But at the same time, I saw that I was really burned out a lot, and I would get sick after races, and I was getting little injuries that, you know, things that I knew that I shouldn't let them go on very long. Otherwise it'd become a big issue. And about a year and a half into my career, I was introduced to Phil Maffetone, who did a lot of heart rate training research and looking at just human physiology and seeing that, you know, our endurance aerobic physiology is gigantic and our anaerobic physiology capabilities is very small. You know, human beings are the best endurance animals on the planet. We can run farther, faster than even horses. We're not the speediest animals on the planet. I mean, take a little squirrel or something. They can probably run faster than you for like a second or two, right? Anyway, so I knew that I needed to do something different. He presented me with this whole way of training. And he said, you know, we're going to slow down, train in these heart rates for the next month. Don't do anything fast. And then we're just going to see how you progress. And so I really had to slow my pace down. And all my training partners were like, come on, what are you doing back there? You know, and slowly that gap between them going their normal fast pace and me going my aerobic pace got closer and closer and closer. And eventually I was able to stay with them almost all the time on workouts, unless it was, you know, a really, really hard workout. And I saw that my race results were improving dramatically. So it was hard for me, you know, my ego wanted to win the workouts every day, but the bigger part of me that knew that what was really important was first and foremost staying healthy, and second, hopefully having better race results. And I saw that both of those things were happening. I wasn't burned out anymore. I was able to do training day after day after day consistently. I wasn't missing days because I was tired or injured or whatever. And so that became my whole philosophy. And it took a few years to really develop that aerobic system. But I just kept getting faster my entire career for 15 years because of that way of training. The athletes that I coach now, markallencoaching.com, some of them right away, they're into it. They get it. They understand it. You know, they've tried it. And now with me as their coach, they're like, okay, I'm responsible to Mark. I'm going to stick with it. Other people, they come into it. They've never trained like this. They're used to always training really hard. And if you don't do much aerobic training, when you start to work that system, which happens at low to moderate heart rates, you have to slow way down because you just don't have many enzymes to break down fat for fuel. And so your heart rate skyrockets even at relatively slow paces. And so right away, they, on a lot of runs, they have to walk half the time. And they're like, this isn't working. I go, and I'll explain the whole philosophy, and I'll say, now just stick with it. When your heart rate goes over the maximum aerobic heart rate, slow it down. And over time, we're going to keep track of your running pace. We're going to keep track of your watts at these heart rates. And you'll see they're going to start to improve. You'll get faster running. You'll start to generate more watts at these same heart rates. And, it can take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks to really start to see some big gains. And in that time, I have to really stay on them, because they want to go back to just, I'm going to go fast. I don't want to go slow. Triathletes, I don't want to go slow. That's like the opposite of a kid. I don't want to go fast, But anyway, and so eventually they go, okay, yeah, actually I am getting faster. And those little injuries that were bugging me, I notice that they're gone, and I'm actually sleeping better, and I finish a workout and I feel great instead of completely wasted. And then they go and they race and they're like, wow, I only did a little bit of speed work, and that was the best time I've ever had in a half Ironman or a full Ironman, right? That's the best 10K that I've had, And so I just have to stay with some people more than others. But eventually they all do see like, okay, there is a real wisdom to this.
Yeah, I was just going to introduce you, Beth.
Yeah, because that leads right into the question that I was going to ask. Mark, I heard you speak 20 years ago at a coaching thing, and you told a story similar to that, and you said that you actually had to move because when you were training with your friends, it was always a race, and you didn't want anybody that you knew to see you walking up a hill to keep your heart rate down. So now, and so I'm also a coach, but I don't have the Mark Allen name. So when I'm telling my athletes to slow down, they think I'm crazy. You only go fast by training fast, is, sort of philosophy. So my question is sort of, what do you think of Strava and all the other platforms where people are posting their workouts? And like you said, nobody posts their aerobic-based training workout. They always want to post their segments where they're KOMs and whatever.
Yeah.
Do you find it helpful or more of a hindrance? I think I see where you're going with this. It's also, not only is it, comparison constantly, but you're never relaxing. You're never shutting down. You're always looking at social media and seeing what other people are doing.
Yeah, if you're training hard all the time, you're always in that fight or flight, anaerobic, high stress physiology. And over time, what happens is that at first you'll start to get fast really quick, but then your body cannot maintain that. And then if you keep pushing like that, you're actually going to start to get slower. You're going to get weaker. You're going to start to eat lean muscle. You're going to start suppressing the release of testosterone, human growth hormone. So you're not going to recover as well. And then it becomes really hard because you think, oh, gee, I'm not working hard enough. And then you go even harder. And then the next thing you know, you fall off the cliff. So what do I think of like the comparison platform, Strava? I think if people are comparing to other people all the time, it's going to be a huge detriment to their ability to just do what's right for their overall big picture of training. And some people don't even care if they really are progressing. Right. It's just fun, for them to say, today I was KOM, or today, they beat their buddies. And some people are just not coachable. They want you to be a coach, but they don't really want to do what you're trying to tell them to do. And so I have to ask myself I ask them, what is your purpose? What do you want to get out of this? And they say, I just want to train. It's like, okay, here's the length of the workout or the miles you need to do, or here's the interval workout. And just, you're not, I don't say this, but you're not coachable. So just do it at whatever intensity you want. Yeah. But I think those like Strava really hurts a lot of people because they can't just, like you said, relax and stay with their own training program. And when every workout is a comparison with other athletes, it's like every day you're racing. And racing should be something that is a special, unique experience that you do a few times a year, so that when you go and you do it, you haven't done it 1,000 other times.
Right. Yeah, we also have a cycling studio, and we'll do workouts, and they may finish their workout at 0.68. It's an aerobic workout, right? Intensity factor. To a lot of people, that's a D plus. You know, they want it like 0.9 or above all the time. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's hard to get a lot of athletes to slow down. They like, you know, you get addicted to that high intensity. You know, it does release endorphins, which are attaching to the same part of your brain that morphine would if you took morphine. And so it attaches to that addicted part of your brain. When you train aerobically, it stimulates your body to release DHEA, which is a hormone that just gives you a sense of life being balanced, steady, and just like, oh, okay. You know, and so sometimes I ask my athletes, I go, do you want to be a drug addict? Or do you want to have life just be like, okay, this is good. I can manage this. I can do it today. I know I can get up tomorrow and I can do it again and again and again and again. I coach athletes all over the world, only age groupers. I love age group athletes. MarkAllenCoaching.com. All of my training is online. It has all of the knowledge that I've gained in almost 40 years in the sport and over 25 years of coaching athletes all over the world. Athletes of all ability levels, ages, target race distances. I love it. There's a lot of interaction. I am your coach at MarkAllenCoaching.com. You don't get shuttled off to somebody else. You have interaction with me. Hope to see you on there. MarkAllenCoaching.com. And there's a special for you guys only. You can get the first month for $1. The discount code is first month one, just for you. MarkAllenCoaching.com.